Here I have a vintage kanna blade. This is most likely blue steel. And I have the 1K king, and I'm just going to use the king to create a 1000 grit scratch pattern on this blade. I've done most of the work already. And what I'm looking for is this nice, even, dull look to the blade. I'm going to set that aside, back in the bucket. And here I have three awase stones. This is a piece of uchigamori. This is a Suita, Shiro Suita, and this is a tomae. All of these are relatively hard stones, and I'm going to use this blade to just do a run through it with these stones, just to show how they react under this blade. So with just clear water, a lot of cutting going on there. We've obviously had some action going on in the center of the blade here, and that's why I put the 1K scratch on the blade to begin with, so we can see the contrast here. There's with this uchigamori, you can see the grain of the jigane showing up here, the folded wrought iron. And one reason I like these old blades is because the jigane is made up of antique steel. It's nice and soft, and in this blade you can see some of the fold patterns and the impurities in the steel. Okay, so that was quickly with just clear water. And if I raise a little slurry here using a worn out diamond atama plate, you can see how the cutting action is changed. To begin with, it's a lot easier to use a stone. The stone and the steel are gliding nicely with each other. That you can see the black getting mixed up in the slurry. We have that bright patch developing a little bit more in the center there. I can focus on this left side, which is the right side when I turn it over. You can see how that opened up there and started to get polished. Okay, so you can see how a slurry helps to get the stone into action. So what I'm going to do, set that stone aside, pull out this king again, and reestablish that scratch pattern on the blade. Okay, that should do it. So here again we have that, back to that sort of hazy. It's a little patchy here right now, but the dark colored Jigane with our light Hagane showing up there. Okay, this is the Suita stone, and this is a pretty hard stone, and it can be used for polishing. You'll see that as we get into this. Now this is going to be a little bit slower cutting. Well, actually the black started coming off really fast on this. So for this piece of steel, it seems like it's going to be judged as a fairly fast stone. This is just with clear water. So that was okay. So the areas in the center of the blade here have brightened up quite a bit already. The steel particles are floating in clear water, which is an indication of a relatively hard stone that hasn't provided its own slurry. Okay, so that brightened the blade up quite a bit. We're on this right side. Now I'll wipe away that slurry, or that swarth there, and erase the slurry with a diamond plate. Well, you can see how the slurry has become quite dark here quickly. But on a light colored stone, it is apparent when that begins to happen. It's a lot easier just to see it. So that was towards the right side there. Let me move over to the other side of the blade. A lot of cutting action going on there. Okay, so then I brightened up this side of the blade already too. Okay, so and there again, we're looking to capture some of that detail in the Jigane in this blade. Hagane is bright and polished. So set that stone aside. This is the tomae. Oh, actually I have to go back to the king. And okay, so here's that even looking contrast that I was looking for. So this is a 1K scratch pattern. This stone has a really beautiful grain running this way. I think this could be Shinden stone. Okay, so I'm going to work in this area down here where there aren't any ink stamps. Lots of cutting action going on here. By the way, this is a 70mm wide kanna blade. This stone is about 76 millimeters wide. So it's a nice combination. Well, I mean, you can immediately see how much black is developed here in a short time, and we've opened up that center part right there without much more than a few more strokes. I can have all those scratches removed, those 1000K scratches removed on this blade and replaced with scratches from this owase dough. Okay, I mean, that blade's pretty much polished already. That was fast. And still we have a contrast between the jigane and hagane. Also, you can see, because there's clear water, how all those iron particles and steel particles are floating in clear water, and they start to congeal together. This stone did provide a little slurry, which is nice. And I'm not going to use a diamond plate on this stone, but you can see where I've used the stone right here. This stone was probably mined in the 20s or 30s, has a beautiful kawa skin on the back, but it was, I would think, slabbed up maybe in the 50s or 60s, and there's a sort of a oxidized skin on the stone from just being exposed to the air. This piece of uchigamori, very similar looking in color. And then this Suita looks dark when it's wet. This is another Suita that looks much lighter when it's wet, but still, they all darken when they're wet a little bit. Okay, so that's just a run through with 3 different stones.